Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. This is the podcast where we dive into the world of TV and movies and discover the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly. My name is James. Welcome to the show. And this week, we have hit a milestone yet again. Episode 40 of this podcast. And we are talking probably one of the funniest kids Saturday morning TV shows of all ever, I think. If you grew up like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like I did, this show was a staple among other Saturday morning live shows. We're talking SMTV Live, and it features three of probably some of the best presenters to come up in this generation and still going to this day. Which we'll talk about in the show. I'd just like to say thank you for last week's episode, where it was our first time live streaming on Twitch and recording the podcast, and it was really, really good fun. And quite a few of you have said that it was actually really fun and wouldn't mind doing it again. So we are currently doing it live on Twitch right now. As you hear this, I'm recording this live on Twitch on January 10th, and this is going out on the following Monday, which is the 15th of January. So if you're doing this on the 15th of January, hope you're having a good Monday. Hope your weekend has been good, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast this far. So let's get into the podcast show. Let's get into this week's episode, which is episode 40, SMTV Live, which originally released on air on ITV on August 29th, 1998, and finished on December 27th, 2003. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go.
Favorite game. It's Wonky Donkey.
Wonky Donkey. Wonky Donkey. Wonky Donkey.
Zabbit. All you have to do is defeat the donkey today, and you could win this.
Well, that was fun, was it? That brings back a lot of memories. Listening to all that, listen to those sound bites, and actually, while I was getting ready for the show, I went back to see to watch some of the best bits of the show. And the show, like, this brought back so many memories. This show started when I was 8 years old, and it finished when I was 13 years old. I think I'm trying to remember, like, I was a little bit late to the party watching the show. I probably didn't see it till about 99, so I missed about a year of it, I think. And my God, what a show this was for Saturday morning as well. You know, everyone's had like a hard week in school. What's everybody do? Sit back, relax, and wake up late. Well, sometimes wake up late on a Saturday, and you go down, have breakfast, and put on Saturday morning TV shows for the kids. And it was great. Not only you had this, but you had other shows as well, like Live and Kicking, Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, and a smattering of other shows as well. And this one was like ITV's Live and Kicking. This was ITV's own thing, and this show was just brilliant, funny. It had comedy, a lot of comedy in it, which the timing of everything was really, really good. And you also had a combination of skits as well as cartoon, kids TV shows like cartoons and other things like that. So this show became as they say, as it's a script by, like, it's so notable. So we'll talk about we'll talk about the presenters first, because they did have an array of presenters during this show. Obviously, the leads, the lead presenters of the show were a very young Ant Dec, who had just come off the success of being what's their singing names? Oh god damn, I've forgotten what their there you go. PJ and Duncan. PJ and Duncan. That's what their rap names are. And then before that, obviously, they were on is it Birch Grove? My god, I can't remember now. But Bikers Grove, where everybody Bikers Grove, that's the one. And we had like, it was that they finished that show with the infamous scene where Dec gets like shot in the eyes with the paintball gun, and Ant's brilliant line delivery said, "He's gone blind," which I'm sure is like no, it's not meant to be a funny moment. It's not meant to be a funny moment, but because of the delivery and the dramaticness of it, and I know shows like Soccer AM did a parody of it several times because it was quite funny, because they did a parody of Ant Dec, which was funny. It is funny. Also with this show, I'll be back to the presenters. Also, this show you could get away with these shows in the 90s. You could get away with a lot of things, and there was one. I think there was one skit with what is it? One skit with Victoria Beckham, I think. Like the boys were were like parodying Star Trek, and Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice. I think she was still Posh Spice at the time. Was drawing a map out, and it kind of looked like it's quite funny. It kind of looked like boobs. There is a clip of it. It's actually the way it's delivered is actually quite funny. And when you're kids, I don't think some people will probably look at it and go, "The fuck?" But like in the 90s, growing up, you didn't really care. I don't think anybody cared. Did anyone remember that? Does anyone remember that skit? Let me know. Because I saw it on one of the best of clips, and I laughed my head off. I thought I didn't get that as a kid. You wouldn't get that, but when you're an adult, you're like, that's actually quite funny. So if you haven't, I'll post a clip up somewhere. It's quite funny. But back to the presenters. You had Ant Dec. You had Kat. You had a young Kat Deeley as well. You had Brian Dowling, who had just come off the first Big Brother, I think. I think he was like one of the first people to come from Big Brother, that come out of Big Brother and then come into like television because of like his personality and everything like that, which was good. Then you had Tess Daly. You had H from Steps step in sometimes. You'd have Claire Richards from Steps jump in sometimes. And Steve Merhan. Stephen Merhan as well would come on to the show as well. I think Steve Merhan would be doing like tricks and stuff like that. I don't actually remember him doing I don't remember him doing any presenting. But like it's crazy because all these guys and girls were like that were in kids TV back then are all still working now, and they're all working their different shows and everything like that. I think Steven's working on still working on the catchphrase stuff. Ant Dec, but yeah, we know what Ant Dec's doing right now with like Britain's Got Talent, I'm a Celeb to Get Me Out of Here, and they even had some of their own game shows given in as well, which is pretty awesome. Kat Deeley's done a lot of things as well. Brian Dolan, I don't know what Brian Dolan's been doing over the last number of years. I know he's been in and out of certain things, but I don't know what he's doing right now. And obviously, H from Steps and Claire from Steps, they've just brought they're back in steps now, they're touring and whatnot. But this show like lasted 6 seasons, 279 episodes overall, which is a huge number of episodes for a Saturday morning TV show, which is really, really awesome. And they had a follow-on show. So when they would finish, so when SMTV Live would finish, it would go straight into CD UK, which was like the music version. Which is like the music version of Top of the Pops. It was like the ITV version of Top of the Pops, where they just folded on. And this show had, this show, it might be a pokey, like little, British kids TV show and whatnot that lasted from like, what was it, 2 hours in the 2 hours in the morning. Like, they had some really good stars in there. I think probably some of the high-profile stars they had on the show was probably the two off the top of my head. Probably Britney Spears came on the show twice, I think. And this is how random the show was. Mariah Carey popped on to a show one day on one show and on a series as well, which is mega. You know how big, Britney Spears is a big star, but Mariah Carey is even bigger as well, which is crazy. And obviously you had like other presenters, other celebrities come on. Like Lee Evans was on there one time, and young Graham Norton was on there one time as well. You got all these different personalities and characters coming on and doing these skits and everything. Like, so good. If you watch this as a kid and me talking about it now, and you listen to this in the car on Spotify or on YouTube or whatever, feel free to put in the comments, feel free to put in the comments or whatnot, and we'll watch, talk about your favorite memories of this show. It's really, it's awesome. I actually like the show. So an over 2 hour time slot as well, which is freaking awesome. So the programming that we watched, let me have a sip right here. Lovely. So the programming that we had during the show, we had, in between the skits and everything else like that, you had the programming, which was like the kids' TV shows that was slung in between, So see if you can remember, if you all remember these shows. Mind you, some of these shows that I'm about to say have had their own episode on this podcast, and others will soon be getting an episode on the podcast as well, but I don't know when. You'll have to wait and see. So, the TV shows that the kids' TV shows that were put on during the show. Okay, so you had two categories: your cartoons or live action programming. You had the Angry Beavers, Animaniacs, Cow and Chicken, which there is an episode in the archives right now. Dexter's Laboratory, episode in the archives right now. I Am Weasel, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The New Addams Family, Power Rangers Turbo, and Power Rangers in Space. Shout out to them. The Worst Witch, Pokemon, like the old school Pokemon. Clueless, which I think was a cartoon, or it could have been a live action show. I'm not entirely sure, but it's based off the movie. Okay. Digimon, Bernard's Watch, Scooby-Doo, My Parents Are Aliens, Star Street, Hey Arnold, Men in Black, the series, Pop Stars Ireland, Sitting Ducks, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, All Grown Up, The Flintstones, Girls in Love, SpongeBob SquarePants, and it's so Raven as well. Excuse me. So you had all them shows scattered around during the show. Obviously, not all the shows are all these kids' shows would be on one programming. You know, one week it would be the Angry Beavers, or another week would be Pokemon, or another week it would be Scooby Doo, or you know, it's like a mix and match of kids' shows, which is absolutely fantastic. Such an array, man. Growing up in the '90s was so good. It was so good. All right, the sketches. I think the sketches were some of my favorite favorite parts of the show, because I think it kind of it shows the creativity of what Ant Dec and Kat Deeley could do as well with the show, amongst with the writers and all the celebrities that they had around them, so what they could use, which is pretty, you know, which was awesome, which is really fun. The three main ones, or four technically, that they had were Deck Says, Chums, and the Poke Rap and Poke Fight, which was like the parody, which are all parodies of certain aspects of different things. You know, Chums, I love Chums. Chums was like the parody of Friends, and that got me laughing all the time. They could have easily made like like Chums could have easily been a series after the show. You know, it's so, because the set was kind of like Friends, and the opening of Chums was like Friends as well, but instead of having 5 friends, was it 5? Was there 5? Rachel, Monica, Ross, Chandler, Joey, Phoebe. Yeah, 5. Instead of having 5 friends, it was like 3 friends. So that was great. The Poke Rap and Poke Fight, they were sketches based upon the program's regular regular featured broadcast of Pokemon, where they primarily went on to Deck did rap sketches, mainly involving a pair of actors rapping and concluding the raps with the names of various Pokemon, which is, I don't remember these ones too much. I don't remember this one too much. And Deck Says is a sketch revolving around Deck answering letters letters from fictional viewers, and a personal problem in which he would recount on how he handled a similar issue in the past. So those were quite funny. Chums for me was like the main one I would remember. And then obviously you had the main programming along with the sketches. You had Postbag you had Magic, you had Wonky Donkey as well, which is a fun, which I played at the start of the episode. Challenge Ant was actually really funny, because Challenge Ant would be challenged by like celebrities, or I think members of the audience as well, and most of the time he would like lose. I think they put a dunce hat on him once, and it was a point where he was asking 10 questions, and when he lost, they put a dunce hat on him, and he didn't like that dunce hat there at all. And then they had Eat My Goal as well, which is a phone-in competition. So most of these were like phone-in competitions, which aren't really done these days anymore, because of like, you know, the scandals over recent years about producers and whatnot, you know, getting people that they know to, you know, getting people they know to be callers, and then they would take the money and stuff like that, take all the prizes and stuff, you know, which has happened before. For example, you know, it's happened on This Morning, and the, you know, ITV came out with it and whatnot. So I think the people are like pieces of shit for doing that. But Eat My Goal Eat My Goal was probably my favorite one, because like I said, it was a phone-in competition. Um, but then viewers would choose which celebrity would take penalties, would take penalty kicks, and Ant would be in the goal while Dec and Kat Deeley were hosting the contest. And there were some like funny um funny episodes as well. I think there might have been like um one instance where I think somebody kicked the ball. I'm trying to remember. This has just been in my head now. But like uh what was it? Somebody kicked the ball, a celebrity kicked the ball, and the ball hit Ant right in the face. I'm pretty sure that happened. I don't know why that's such a memory, but I'm feeling that hit them in the face and whatnot, which made made us laugh. It made me laugh. If somebody gets hit with the ball in the face, it made me laugh my head off whatsoever. So those were kind of the programs, and then CD UK was the which is an abbreviation for Countdown United Kingdom, which was like the live on TV format for like UK singles charts, music videos, interviews, and then performances by artists. Like I said, they had the person that I remember on there. You know, they had Westlife a lot, they had Blue a lot, Steps a lot, and I don't know if I don't think Mariah Carey might have been on there, but they had Britney on there, Britney Spears on there as well. So it was all good fun. It was all good fun. However, sadly, Ant Dec did leave the show to present Pop Idol in 2001, and Kat Deeley as well. When Kat Deeley as well left the show to focus on the BBC talent show Fame Academy. Oh, jeez, can you remember Fame? Does anyone remember Fame Academy? Bloody hell, that's a throwback there. And you know, they left the show, and then the string of hosts then were rotated through quite a bit. You had H from Steps, Claire Richards from Steps, Big Brother winner Brian Doling as well. Tess Daly came into it as well. Until all four eventually left in 2003. So the show lasted a while, but then obviously because they tried to keep the thing going, but with the decline or with the departure of the original hosts, the decline in ratings went down, which is a shame because the show was really, really good. But then, in my mind, I'm thinking if the original hosts, left, would it have been better to end the show there and then rather than keeping it going with other with other guests? I think so, but it is what it is. It's television. People like to keep things going until it actually dies. So it is what it is. But yeah, this show was like the show was amazing. It was so good. Um, 6 seasons, 279 episodes. The runtime, like I said, was just over 2 hours, so 125 minutes, as it says, and it was good. It was all it was all good. It was really, really good. It was really good fun. If you remember this, quite a bit of the stuff on the show is on YouTube right now. check it out. There are some full episodes on YouTube as well, which is also fun. So go and check them out, whatnot, and reminisce on the good old days, like we all used to back in the day. All right. Okay. So I think that's it. I think there's nothing else for me to talk about on here. So let's listen to the Eat My Goal intro, and then we'll do our own outro, and we'll get on. So listening. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming in today. This was episode 40 of the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for coming in. I do appreciate it. I hope you continue to listen to us all the way through this wonderful journey that we're going on today. If you want to hear us on audio form, you can hear us on Spotify at the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube Music as well, and various other places. Just search the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. You can also catch the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast on socials. Keep up to date with us. You can follow us at Multiverse of Entertainment Pod on Instagram, Mo Podcast on TikTok as well. You can also catch us. You can also catch me. Hello. You can also catch me on socials, on everywhere. You can follow me at ItzThatNerdJames on Instagram. You can catch us on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/ItzThatNerdJames. We can catch me on streams. I'm streaming more and more right now because the work schedule is changing slowly, and it's going to keep changing. So look forward to that. You can follow me on TikTok as well. ItzThatNerdJames. You can follow me on X. See, I refuse to call it X. It's still Twitter to me. So Twitter/X at ItzThatNerdJ as well. You can follow me on there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. ItzThatNerdJames on YouTube. You can follow me on you can subscribe to me on there now. The subscriptions are starting to go up as well, which is really good, pumping out the videos, which is awesome. So thank you very much for all that. And I think that's all we've got. I don't think there's any more plugs. I don't think there's any more. But anyway, next week we're on episode 41, and we're back to the movie scene, and we are talking. I think we're sticking with the theme of disaster movies. I think. Are we talking about disaster movies? Yeah, we are. Disaster movies. We're on the disaster movie trail, and we are talking about The Day After Tomorrow. So if you like disaster films, you will like that. I'm going to be watching it this week just to refresh on what the hell that movie was all about, because I still didn't get it then, and I don't know if I'm going to get it now. But with that being said, thank you very much for listening. Let's listen to the outro that we all love so much. See you next week. Goodbye.